I've always found today a difficult day. I find myself living in a tension. Good Friday has gone and we remember the death of Jesus, but Easter Sunday hasn't yet arrived. Jesus has not yet risen from the dead in our remembrance. Victory and life have not yet broken forth. As I allow myself to journey through this week with the disciples, I find today to be a strange day. There's a passing comment in John's Gospel about that day, that Sabbath day. Or at least it seems to be a passing comment, but I don't think it is. John writes this: "Since it was the day of preparation, the Jews did not want the bodies left on the cross during the Sabbath, especially because that Sabbath was a day of great solemnity." A day of great solemnity. For the Jewish people in the midst of Passover celebrations, this was an important Sabbath, a crucial day in their calendar. It was a day of great significance, a day when they remembered God's deliverance of them as a people from Egypt. He had brought them out of slavery at great cost, enormous cost. But they'd not yet entered the promised land. They enacted that day each year, clearing their house of leaven. It was a simple day, a quiet day, a day of solemnity. I think John writes that to point out an irony. Yes, it was a solemn day, but they didn't know the half of it. The truly solemn thing about it, the real darkness of that day, was not about remembering things past, but about what had just taken place. Jesus had been slaughtered and his body lay motionless in the tomb. The light of the world snuffed out. Hope turns to despair. Joy turns to sorrow. The temptation for us is to bypass that solemnity, to fast forward to tomorrow, to remember when darkness turns back to light, when despair turns back to hope, and when sorrow is eradicated by joy. But there should be a place in our spirituality for solemnity. There should be a place for remembering the difficulty and the tension of this day. We know the end of the story and we do have hope, but that does not mean that today, as we remember the wait, is not a serious day. I try each year to let today be a simple day, a quiet day, a day of holy solemnity, allowing myself to live in that tension. And when we allow ourselves the difficulty of Saturday, Sunday means all the more. So today, may you permit yourself the solemnity of this day. May you find times to be quiet and simple. And in that, may you know that even the darkest day still turns ultimately to light.